Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover the fascinating and honestly sometimes dangerous journey of how our bodies react to the invisible world around us. Welcome to the explainer. Today we're decoding allergies. We're going to be looking at the science behind why our bodies sometimes treat everyday things as deadly threats, how to spot the warning signs, and what medical science is doing to help us take back control.
Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1. What is an allergy? Number 2. Common types and triggers. Number 3. The spectrum of symptoms. Number 4. Diagnosing the culprit. And finally, number 5. Treatments and management. Let's get started.
Section 1. What is an allergy? The immune system's false alarm.
So, at its core, an allergy is a condition where your immune system mistakenly overreacts to normally harmless substances. We call these substances allergens. When you encounter them, your immune system suddenly pumps out antibodies, and in the process, it releases chemicals like histamine. Now, normally, histamine is kind of like your body's bouncer, right? It's a vital evolutionary defense mechanism designed to flush out real toxins or dangerous parasites. It does this by making your blood vessels leaky, which allows white blood cells to rush to the site of an infection. But in an allergy, this flood of histamine triggers a highly disruptive and sometimes severe defensive response against a completely harmless target. Your body is essentially fighting a phantom invader. It's an incredible system designed to keep you safe, but in this case, it just gets totally confused and goes to war against a false enemy. And you know, genetics and environmental factors often play a massive role in why this happens to some of us and not others.
Section 2. Common types and triggers. The invisible enemies.
There is a huge variety of everyday items out there, from the pets we absolutely love to the food we eat that can suddenly become a target for an overactive immune system. Looking at the main categories, we've got tree and grass pollen, which are notorious for causing seasonal hay fever. Then we have indoor triggers. We're talking microscopic house dust mites, mold spores, and animal dander or saliva. At a molecular level, it's actually the specific, totally harmless proteins in these substances that the immune system misidentifies. But it doesn't stop with just the things we breathe in. Specific foods like milk, eggs, peanuts, and seafood are incredibly common triggers, along with certain medicines like antibiotics and aspirin, and even venom from insect stings like bees or wasps. Literally any of these can be the invisible enemy your immune system decides to attack.
Section 3. The spectrum of symptoms from nuisance to emergency. Depending on how the allergen actually enters your body, you might experience very different reactions. And this really all comes down to where your local immune cells, specifically your mast cells, are activated. For example, if you breathe in pollen or dust, it impacts your respiratory system, right? That leads to a runny nose, sneezing, coughing, wheezing, and breathlessness, symptoms we commonly associate with allergic rhinitis or asthma. But if the allergen touches your skin, it can cause dryness, redness, a raised rash known as hives, or intense itching. And if you consume the allergen, say a peanut or some milk, your digestive system bears the brunt of the attack, resulting in stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. The location of the battle completely dictates the symptoms you feel.
Now, what is absolutely crucial to understand here is the stark contrast between a mild everyday annoyance and a sudden life-threatening medical emergency known as anaphylaxis. Mild symptoms like sneezing, itchy, watering eyes, or localized hives, they're uncomfortable for sure, but generally manageable. Anaphylaxis, on the other hand, is a massive, systemic, whole-body reaction, and it can happen within minutes. The throat, mouth, or tongue can suddenly swell up, making it extremely difficult to swallow or breathe. Because of the sheer volume of histamine released across the entire body, blood vessels dilate all at once. This causes a dangerous, rapid drop in blood pressure, meaning a person might start breathing very fast, become incredibly wheezy, or suddenly become profoundly confused, drowsy, or dizzy.
It is absolutely vital to recognize these specific visual cues of anaphylaxis because they signal an immediate lack of oxygen circulating in the blood. You might see the skin, lips, or tongue actually turn blue, gray, or pale. And it's incredibly important to note, as strongly highlighted by health authorities, that on brown or black skin, this redness or paleness can be a lot harder to spot on the face. So you must look at the palms of the hands or the soles of the feet to see these critical color changes. If someone faints and cannot be woken up, or a child becomes unusually limp and floppy, you are looking at a severe emergency.
If an emergency does strike, you must follow these exact, highly instructional steps immediately. First, if the person has an adrenaline auto-injector, like an EpiPen, use it right away. Second, call emergency services immediately. In the UK, that's 999, and tell them you suspect anaphylaxis. Third, have the person lie down flat. You can raise their legs, or if they're struggling to breathe, raise their shoulders slowly. If pregnant, they should lie on their left side. Fourth, if there's no improvement after 5 minutes, use a second injector. And please remember this crucial medical advice. Never stand or walk during an anaphylactic reaction, even if you start feeling better. Standing up causes blood to pool in the legs and rapidly drop away from the heart and brain, which can actually trigger sudden cardiac arrest in these severe situations.
Okay, so after surviving an initial reaction, the next logical step in our patient journey is playing detective to solve this medical mystery. How exactly do doctors find the specific trigger out of the thousands of possibilities in our environment?
Section 4. Diagnosing the culprit, the medical investigation.
Doctors use a clever combination of precise diagnostic tools to positively identify the allergen. A skin prick test involves putting a tiny amount of the suspected allergen on the skin and gently pricking it to see if a red, itchy bump forms. You're literally watching the localized immune reaction happen in real time. Then there's the blood test, which measures the specific IgE antibodies your immune system has produced against certain triggers. The higher the number, the more likely the allergy. A patch test involves wearing patches containing allergens on the skin for an extended period to check for delayed reactions. There's also the provocation test, done under strict medical supervision, of course, where allergens are introduced directly to the nose, eyes, or lungs. Finally, for food allergies, an elimination diet carefully removes suspected foods from your meals to see if symptoms improve, and then gradually reintroduces them to confirm the exact culprit.
Section 5. Treatments and Management. Taking back control.
While strict avoidance of the allergen is always your first line of defense, let's be real, it's not always possible. That's where modern medicine steps in. Daily management often involves antihistamines, which literally cap the receptors in your body so that the free-floating histamine can't attach and cause those annoying symptoms. We also use decongestants to clear up blocked airways. For persistent inflammation, doctors might prescribe corticosteroid, nasal sprays, or skin creams. For severe allergies, carrying emergency epinephrine like an auto-injector is completely non-negotiable. It's a literal lifesaver that rapidly constricts blood vessels to reverse dangerous swelling and blood pressure drops. And finally, for a more long-term solution, there's immunotherapy.
Immunotherapy is essentially a way of retraining your immune system over a long period so it just stops sounding the alarm unnecessarily. Through allergy shots or drops, immunotherapy carefully and systematically exposes your body to tiny, increasing amounts of the exact thing you're allergic to. Over time, your body builds up a biological tolerance. At a microscopic level, it often shifts from producing those highly reactive IgE antibodies to producing IgG antibodies, which act more like a blocking shield. Your body gradually gets used to the allergen, desensitizing the immune system until it no longer reacts so aggressively. It's a fascinating process of teaching the body to recognize that the invisible enemy is actually harmless.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. With allergies rising globally at absolutely unprecedented rates, what will our ever-evolving immune systems decide to react to next? If you suspect your body is fighting a false enemy right now, whether it's a persistent cough, a recurring rash, or sudden digestive issues, don't just live with it. Consult a doctor or an allergy specialist. By playing detective with proper tests and utilizing the right management strategies, you can properly identify your triggers. You can take back control and get back to living safely and comfortably in the world around you. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.